Hey there, good Monday morning. It is August 3rd. I'm NBC Connecticut storm tracker meteorologist Alexis Clemens. It has been a busy morning in the weather department with a lot of rain falling. We've had a lot of reports of downed trees, downed wires, some really hefty rainfall totals. So we figured we'd jump on here and answer any of your questions and also get your reports of all of the rain that has been happening. So thanks for being with us here on this Monday, August 3rd. The time of doing this is just about 9:15 in the morning. I wanted to share some of the higher rainfall totals that I have seen so far. Take a look at this. Over 4 inches of rain recorded in Windsor Locks, Plainville, Bantam, New Hartford, and Sherman coming in over 3 inches of rain. And the concern is that all of that fell within about 3 to 4 hours. An inch an hour rainfall rate is really something to pay attention to. That's going to exceed flash flooding guidance, and which is what we saw. We had a couple flash flood warnings as of 9:15 right now. Those have since expired, and I can even show you our radar right now. There is a flash flood warning in Providence, Rhode Island, that butts up to eastern Connecticut. There was one at a time in western Connecticut as well, even down through the 5 boroughs of New York. Looks like still New York City dealing with that flash flood warning. But I wanted to zoom out a little bit and show you the big picture. I will say I do think the worst of the system is done, but not fully. The system itself is not done. And I want to show you why. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little pointer here. So obviously you can see this line that stretches all the way down towards like Delaware, Southern Jersey, Philadelphia, and then all the way up through Maine. This was the first line of that system that really hammered us with 2 to 4 inches of rain for most of the state. And that's now still that heavy rain now in southeastern Connecticut. But I want to show you what I'm starting to see here. You can see some showers, a line of storms kind of moving into central New York, just past State College, Pennsylvania. Doesn't look like much right now, but I do think it's going to have a lot of moisture to work with as it makes its way further to the east. So we're not done with rain just yet. In fact, unfortunately, I could see some of these storms producing some gusty winds and some more of that heavier rainfall. I don't think it would train as much as the one this morning has, but it's definitely still something that we're going to keep an eye on and could produce a couple more of those strong storms. As I go ahead and zoom back in, you can see that Litchfield County is starting to dry out, which is good. They saw a lot of the rain. Litchfield County really started out with that rain, I think, not too long after midnight. I think the first, because I got here at the 3 o'clock this morning, I think the first flash flood warning was issued at 3:30 for Litchfield County. So that has since expired. And as of right now, things are nice. At least we don't have any warnings out there. It's drier in Litchfield County, which is good. They need to dry out there. Looks like it's starting to dry out in northern Connecticut as well. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at southeastern Connecticut. It took them a while to get that rain going because it was really training over parts of northeastern and central Connecticut here. But you will notice, some pretty heavy rain there. Let's zoom in a little bit more, get a couple more town names up there. It looks like heading towards Salem, just to the east of Essex, heading towards East Lyme, Montville, Norwich, going to head towards Uncasville here very soon, that heavier rainfall. And another thing that you might not, obviously rains are a big story, but we're also seeing some really strong wind gusts from this system. Let me see if I can go ahead and find a couple of those, because I do believe, right now, winds are gusting up to about 20 miles an hour, which isn't terrible. But when a little storm comes on through, it definitely picks that wind up for you. So we're continuing to see that rain across the region. As I go ahead and show you that there, you can definitely see that heavier rain in the southeastern part of the state. I want to also just talk about what's happened, right? We talked about 4 inches of rainfall at this point. And and you can see that looks like we are probably going to be seeing some heftier totals come in southeastern Connecticut as well, maybe towards Old Saybrook, Essex, heading over towards Norwich, Uncasville here very soon. You can definitely see where those heavy bands of rain stalled across the region, right? So Let me go ahead and grab some of the higher totals that I have seen. I'll kind of go right over here in Litchfield County. Our radar is estimating about 5 inches of rain fell within the last, I think it's more of like the last 9 hours or so. That's a lot. And I believe that I have seen a couple of reports over 4 inches of rain. So 5 inches is definitely not out of the realm here. That is a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And you also have to think about last week, right? Super rainy. And one of the things we talked about before all the rain started in late July was that our grounds were not saturated, right? They were super dry. Now they are saturated, right? And that poses an issue because we need our soil to dry out before our next rain system, because if not, it's not going to properly drain. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of areas here is our grounds are very saturated. They're not prepared to take on more rain. And unfortunately, we have seen, I believe, cars stuck in water this morning. We had a lot of traffic issues out there this morning. So I'm hoping that things have started to clear up and we can actually take a look at that here in just a second. I haven't had too many reports of downed trees, although I have seen a couple. I believe we saw one in Burlington. Monroe, I think, had some issues. And you can see some storm reports coming in from Springfield, Massachusetts of some downed trees and flooded roadways. I know we saw some up there as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the traffic. It does look like things have gotten better. So that is good news there. But it also looks like we still have some concerns on 84 from New Britain down through Waterbury. And yeah, these are all, I believe, some closed roadways over towards Winchester. We talked about that this morning. Litchfield, and I believe there was another one over in Kent. Yeah. So just south of Kent there. So quite a bit going on across the state here. Western and central Connecticut really in the spotlight this morning. Now it's starting to move into southeastern Connecticut over towards 395 for sure out there this morning. So let us know what you are seeing out there because things are definitely still pretty busy, but they have calmed down for a lot of folks. So yeah, there's a look again at those rainfall totals. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what we can get. Over towards the old Saybrook area, they're just now getting a lot of this rainfall within the last about hour or two. It really started up after about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. Our radar is estimating almost 3 inches of rain, and all of that falling within about 2 hours. That's a big concern for sure. If we have rainfall rates at about an inch an hour, that's typically where flash flooding guidance comes into play. Somebody says very heavy rain here in Oakdale. Thanks so much for the report. Yeah, it's been tough out there for a lot of folks. Even in Hartford, Windsor and Windsor Locks really getting hit hard here. Here we'll go ahead and show a couple of those things. I believe like Plainville also. Yeah, it looks like radar is estimating 4.5 inches of that rain. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other places across the region as well. Looks like over towards Windsor. Yeah, potentially 5 inches of rain there. Somebody said 3.25 in Waterbury. That tracks for sure. Thank you so much for that report. Trumbull at 6 a.m. was torrential. I had mulch pouring down my driveway. Oh, goodness. Well, thankfully everybody's okay, I'm hoping. Yeah, I mean, that rain was terrible. We have a pretty sound building here, and we could hear the rain through. And I mean, you could just see it just coming down. It was difficult, right? And, you might think you can drive in the rain, but when it comes down that quickly, you can't really see very far in front of you. And it can be a really quick, heavy downpour forming very, very quickly. So always important. We had, unfortunately, a lot of issues on the roads this morning. They're starting to clear up now, which is good here at 9:23 this morning. But it's always important, if you are coming across, a heavy downpour of rain, you want to take it slow, pull off to the side of the road if you have to until it passes. And of course, as always, never try to cross a flooded roadway. You might think it's fun, a little puddle, but you just don't know how deep those puddles are, right? So you just never want to chance it. And we've had a couple of instances this morning, I believe, of a couple of cars getting stuck, couple roads impassable due to flooding, right? So always going to be important to to be cautious there. Let's take a look at some other areas that might have gotten some really hefty rainfall totals just south of Warren, coming in at 5 inches. Yeah. And over in, I think, the New Milford area as well, just over 4 inches of that rain. Somebody said nothing in New Haven right now. That's good. Yeah, it looks like it's drying out there. But I've definitely seen some higher totals in that region as well, but it's definitely calmed down a bit. Yeah, take a look at that over towards like Trumbull, up towards Ansonia. Let's go ahead and grab that one as well for us. Yeah, 4 inches of rain, radar estimated. And this radar is a pretty good estimate here. Might not be exact, but it is a pretty good tool to rely on for sure. So let's go ahead and take you through the rest of the day. I'll start with what's happening again right now here at 9:24 this morning. As of right now, we do not have any flash flood warnings in Connecticut. We're starting to dry out there from Waterbury west. So Danbury, Waterbury, Salisbury, a lot of berries, I know, in Connecticut. Torrington's dry, maybe up towards like Barkhamsted. I do want to focus. I just want to look at this little guy one more time here and just kind of tracking it for you. So all of that rain heading towards the Norwich area. Groton going to be seeing this very soon, up towards Plainville, likely within the next about 20 to 30 minutes here. So within the 9 a.m. hour, some that heavy rain. That's kind of the last batch of the heavy rain that we've got going on right now, at least for the moment. That's also going to be heading towards that flash flood warning that's in Providence right now. So that's unfortunately just the first wave of this system. If I go ahead and zoom out one more time for you, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. You can see already, here, let me grab my little pointer again so you know what I'm talking about. So already seeing some more showers forming in northern Jersey, heading towards upstate New York there. So that's another round of this rain. We also see this little itty bitty line of showers and storms forming in parts of New York over towards Scranton, Pennsylvania. It doesn't look like much, but it's heading in this direction. We have so much moisture to work with today that while it might be dry for a moment, probably not going to last too long. I think it's safe to say that the worst of the rain is done. However, I wouldn't put all of the rain past you just yet. We still have some pretty heavy rain that's going to be coming into the region here. Or at least it's possible that it could happen again. And we don't want it to, because we've already had enough, right? Especially this morning. Our grounds absolutely cannot drain properly through the rest of the day. They need the sunshine tomorrow, which we will see then, but we need it to dry out. I just don't see that happening officially until this evening. Somebody said it's raining in Meriden right now. Thank you so much. Dark and steady garden rain in Coventry. Very humid and gross. Yes, that is a everybody's seeing the humidity. It's disgusting outside right now. Somebody said crazy rain, your basement flooded. I'm so sorry about that. It's really tough with all of that rain at once. If it's spread out, which it has been for some folks, that's great. But if it's all at once, that's an issue. Our grounds just don't know how to deal with all of that rain at once. Somebody said their garden has been growing so much thanks to the rain. That's good. We got to look at the positives here as well. Let's talk about the future radar, right? So we got a little bit of that heavy rain in New London County at the moment. Everybody else doing okay. We'll take it, right? But we're not quite done with the heavy rain just yet. I want to show you what your radar might look like. Some dry time here and there, but I do still think some spats of heavy rain are still going to be possible. Southeastern Connecticut getting the brunt of it right now. I think you still have a chance to see even more of that rain, kind of those totals piling up a little bit more through the next couple of hours. And you'll notice we're not done. I showed you the waves of showers and thunderstorms that will continue through the rest of today, through the afternoon, right? So even if you're dry right now, still stay on alert. There's still some rain here. And I do think this system, a lot of people have asked, is this similar to what we saw last week? It is not. This is a very different system here. It is moving slow, but not nearly as slow as what it did last week. At least there's that. It is still, though, moving at like a snail's pace. So it could pick it up just a little bit more. But the good news is we do think that this is going to start to exit by the evening hours. So kind of the final wave of this system by roughly 5-6 p.m. or so. By that point, Western Connecticut will start to dry out. You might even see some sunshine later on this evening as this system pushes out of here, which would be awesome. And that'll help also to drain drain and help our soils a little bit with everything on the ground. By 8 p.m. is when I think that most of us will be dry. So tonight will be much better with clouds decreasing, but we do have to get through, of course, a rainy day today. Tuesday is actually looking pretty nice out there. I still think it's a little humid, but I don't think there's any rain nearby. In fact, there's quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow, which is a new development for us here. So Tuesday's not a bad day at all. Any plans that you might have this week, Tuesday looks okay in the morning and the evening, a-okay, but it will be definitely humid out there. And then Wednesday, we'll see that cloud cover increase with maybe some more rain chances, but I do think they're more isolated in nature later this week. All right, we've got a question. How severe will the storms be later? That's a good question. I'll go ahead and show you what we've got so far. So we have a level 1 risk for severe weather in central and eastern Connecticut. That's where I think the rest of the rain will come into play here. I think it's isolated strong to severe storms possible. So we might have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings issued for a couple of small towns, or isolated towns, I should say, localized for sure. Gusty winds, I think, is a big concern here. There's not a lot of rotation to work with, but there's always a possibility. I think it's going to be hard just with, given all of the rain that we've been seeing today, that takes away some of our energy. And you might have heard me say this before. There are 3 different things that we need for severe weather. We need moisture, lift, and instability. We've got plenty of moisture. That is not a problem. We're going to see a lot of rain. For some severe thunderstorms to form, we need lift and instability. I think we've got lift because this is along a front that's moving through. Instability is where we lack. So we would need more sunshine. We would need more energy in the atmosphere, warmer temperatures. So that's exactly what we're going to be watching for. But I'm not too concerned about storms later today. I'm more concerned about the rain and the wind, and that's already created issues today. And I think we're still kind of on edge and watching the same thing happen later on today. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. Somebody said we'll be keeping the umbrella nearby. Absolutely. We had to dust it off after a dry spell. What was that, in like June? I don't even know. The days blend together at this point. And then in late July, that rain started moving back in. Now we're in early August, and we're definitely going to need it here. I did want to show you this, though, and I'll show you another look at what's going on the next couple of days. So Monday, obviously a soaker, right? This is what we would call a washout for the most part, just because most of the day is very wet, and we've seen a lot of rain already. Those rainfall totals likely going to continue to rise. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday, we've got some small rain chances along here. This is what I would call more of an active weather pattern here. But honestly, it's nothing insane. I think it's just a classic summertime setup here. And what I mean by that is temperatures are warming up later on this week, right? Here, I'll even show you that. I think we're going to be nearing 90 degrees at times later this week. With humidity. Humidity is going to stick around, and that's going to lead to, a heat index in the low 90s. If you remember back in, early July, right? That we saw those heat index values up quite a bit. But what did we also see when we had those high heat index values? Isolated and scattered showers and thunderstorms. That's kind of what we're seeing here. So you're noticing, as I go back to our probability of precipitation graphic, small rain chances, right? So later on this week I don't think will be a washout, anything like today. Today is a different setup, a different system here. But some smaller rain chances are on the way by the middle and end of this coming week. So that is something to keep in mind when you see a lot of rain chances out there. So that's kind of what we're seeing. So don't be too alarmed by the rain chances later on this week. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, but they're pretty small and isolated in nature. Yeah, that's about all I'm getting. If you guys have any reports or anything to send us, you can email us, share it at nbcconnecticut.com. If it's safe to do so and you see any downed trees or any damage out there, flooding on the roadways, if it's safe to do so, please send us a photo and where you took the photo and where we can give and how we can give you credit for the photo or video. We really appreciate it. It helps us get the word out. It helps helps a lot of people. So you can email us, share it at nbcconnecticut.com. You can also message our NBC Connecticut Facebook page, anything like that, and we can help you out for sure. I'll go ahead and take another look at our satellite and radar. You can see that heavy rain still in southeastern Connecticut. But again, I'm still watching. Let me grab the little thing again. Still watching this guy over here. A couple more showers. That's going to move into Litchfield County here soon. And southeastern Connecticut really seeing some heavy rain from Norwich down to Groton, Uncasville, definitely seeing that. And it's going to be heading towards that flash flood warning that is headed over towards Providence. I believe Providence is right in the middle of that, guys. So, yeah. So that's about it. I'll go ahead and end you with the 10-day forecast. If anybody has anything else they want to report or ask about, let me know when it has to do with the forecast here. So we've got thunderstorms, of course, today. It's a washout kind of day out there. I would be paying attention to the forecast and any more showers and storms that develop this afternoon and evening for any of those the later commutes and things like that. Tuesday looks great, actually. A lot of sunshine. We've got some showers that'll start to move in again by late Wednesday, but I do think that by Wednesday and the rest of the rain chances into next weekend, I don't think it's a washout by any means. Just a couple of little isolated and scattered pop-ups here and there as temperatures heat up. Yeah, I think we'll be nearing 90, but that humidity, if you think it's gross now, it's going to stay that way through the next several days. So my sons Elliot and Cameron say hi from Thomaston. Oh, hi guys. My brother's name is Cameron, so that's awesome. Always love to meet some name twins. So yeah, that's about all we're seeing. And again, I'll show some of the rainfall totals that we have seen. This was updated about an hour ago. So obviously things have changed, but I haven't really added anything from southeastern Connecticut just yet. Haven't quite gotten those reports in because the heavy rain has really kind of set up recently. I am looking actually right now. It looks like we've got Westbrook at 1.84 inches, 1.74 in Quaker Hill. But the ones you see on your screen are pretty up to date for the most part, even though they're an hour old. Over 4 inches of rain in Bantam, Plainville, Windsor Locks, and a little less than that in New Hartford and Sherman. We really saw northwestern Connecticut seeing the brunt of this system. And that even moved into like Windsor Locks, like we are showing you there. Some pretty hefty totals from Bradley, I believe, as well. So that is what we're showing you. That's what we're seeing right now. I'll go ahead and show you one more time some of those rainfall totals for us. And you can see, some heavier rain in Litchfield County, even through New Haven County and into Fairfield, and a lot of Hartford County saw that as well. We did have a flash flood warning there. Northeastern Connecticut kind of being all right for the moment. You can just see the streaks, right? In here, let me grab my clicker or my pointer again. Just the streaks here, right? So this little streak from southwest to northeast, another one here, and then another one kind of forming in southeastern Connecticut as well. But areas from like Madison, Connecticut up through the northeast corner, not too bad, right? For the moment. That's just right now. That's just as of the last 9 hours or so since this rain has started up. There's still some heavier rain on the table here as we go through the rest of your day. And again, I'll go ahead and leave you with our radar before we send you off to the day. Of course, we'll give you updates as we go through your Monday, but this is just kind of your late Monday morning update with the first batch of rain that's moved through. And I do think it's the worst of it. I think we can say that now it's the worst of the rain for sure. But I still think heavy rain is possible as we go through the rest of the day. And while it might not be as bad and as heavy as what we saw earlier today, any additional rainfall, that's going to create some issues because of how saturated our ground is. Things haven't drained properly, right? So we really do have to take even a small rain shower later today very seriously. And someone said, New London County, heavy downpours, definitely seeing that on your radar right now. So, of course, just, again, be sure to take it easy as we go through your day. So that's all I've got for you right now. It's 9:38 in the morning. We'll continue to update you if anything changes. Right now, there are no flash flood warnings. But, again, this is 9:38 in the morning. We can likely see that change. We'll continue to monitor those heavy downpours in New London. But like I said, I think an important thing to note here is that even a light rain shower through the rest of the day, if you've already seen 4+ inches of rainfall, a light rain shower can still create some issues. It doesn't necessarily take heavy rain right now to create more of those issues because of all the rain that we have been seeing. Sun's likely not going to come out and dry up that rainfall. So our grounds are saturated. They're not really ready to take on more rain. And unfortunately, we're not done with it just yet. Even if it's dry in your region at the moment, we're still tracking rain chances, likely going to end from west to east between about 5 to 8 p.m. So all day long, we're still going to be tracking this. Somebody just asked, could we lose power from this storm? Unfortunately, it's always a possibility with storms, especially with some gusty winds that are possible. So it's always important just to make sure that you're staying prepared, right? And this is never to scare you. This is to prepare you. We always like to, my motto, my mantra is prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what we always do, right? So we'll continue to keep you updated. A lot of rain can cause some issues, and we'll keep you updated if that happens. I would encourage you, just so you don't have to stare at your phone all day, download the NBC Connecticut app, because we will literally send you alerts and notifications when things are happening in your specific region as well, whether it's heavy rain, flood warnings, damage that we're understanding about, right? That's definitely the best way to do it. Somebody said, can trees fall in this storm? Absolutely. We've already seen a couple of downed trees, and it's with that heavy rain and really gusty winds, which unfortunately is still something that we are tracking. So we'll continue to keep you updated. I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here now just so that we can look at the newest information. We're actually going to have team coverage for you. Myself, Anthony Carpino, Noah Cornelius out in the field. We will have team coverage for you coming up at 11 a.m. on NBC Connecticut. If you don't have cable, you can stream it on our website, nbcconnecticut.com. We'll have that up-to-date information for you. So we're just going to go ahead and jump off here now so that we can get the latest information and give it to you in about an hour and 20 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us here on your Monday. We hope you have a great day. Stay safe, try to stay dry, and we'll keep you updated through the day on air and online.